Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, proudly brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm your host, Raylene Marks, bringing you today's top stories, the last for this week. And over the course of the week, we've been speaking quite a bit about the tragic Air Ethiopia plane crash that happened just as the plane took off from the capital Addis Ababa and crashed just 6 minutes later en route to Nairobi, Kenya, killing all 157 on board, including 2 Israelis. Now, this is the second of the Boeing 737-8 MAX aircraft to have crashed in the last year. The last crash was Lion Air, an Indonesian airline, in October, killing 189 on board. And as a result, many countries around the world, including today the US and Israel, have banned the Boeing 737-8 MAX. Now, we've also spoken quite a bit about the fact that there are members of ZAKA, who are the Israeli NGO that are part of rescue and recovery. They're on the ground in Ethiopia, and a lot of frustration expressed by ZAKA volunteers who are waiting to formally identify and bring back what is left of the remains of the 2 Israelis who tragically were killed. Now, 2 teams were dispatched, one from South Africa and one from Israel. And what we do know is that there have been appeals from the families to the relevant authorities in Ethiopia to please allow ZAKA their access to these human remains so that their loved ones can be brought back home to Israel for a dignified and honorable burial, which is in accordance with the Jewish religion. And not only that, but helps to bring these families some kind of acceptance and some kind of start to the healing process. Now, no reason has been given to the families or to ZAKA why they haven't been allowed in. And it's not just them, it's other rescue personnel as well. But last night, Israel's Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu appealing to his Ethiopian counterpart to please allow them in. We will keep you posted, we will keep you updated as events unfold. Now, more locally, back to Israel, and the Israeli legal NGO Shurat HaDin has appealed to the Israeli government to not let the Icelandic entrant for the Eurovision competition into the country. The Icelandic entrant, which is a BDSM techno band called Hatari, they have stated that they want to use the Eurovision state to support or to mention or talk about their support for Palestinians, to criticize Israel for alleged human rights abuses, and also they are known to be supporters of the boycott. Now, according to Israeli law, if you are outspoken BDS activist that could bring harm to the country, and this massive stage, Eurovision, going out to millions around the world, provides the perfect platform if you want to vent your political opinions. According to Israeli law, if you are a BDS supporter, we do prohibit, as is the right of the sovereign country, your entry into Israel. It is the sovereign right of all countries to decide who they will and won't allow. And the government have said that they will take it into consideration along with other authorities. And Eurovision are quite emphatic about the fact that there is a song competition. It is about goodwill. It is about cooperation between the peoples and creating a fun vibe, and not a platform for political posturing. Just a couple of months ago, Israel's winner of last year's Eurovision contest, which is why it's being held in Israel this year, Netta Barzilai, was stormed on stage as she performed by BDS activists, and she used the opportunity to say, let's not do this, let's talk about light. Music is the universal language of unity, of light, and let's rather spread light instead of darkness. So we will keep you posted as we approach the May Eurovision contest right here in Israel. Political protest or not, it's going to be where the party's at. And the last story of the day is breaking news that came out of the States last night, and that is the U.S. State Department is now referring to the Golan Heights as the Israeli-controlled Golan Heights. They have, in their latest report, eliminated use of the words occupation or occupied territory to refer to the West Bank, Gaza, and the Golan Heights. Now, is this a change in policy? The State Department are saying that while there is a change in the choice of language, it is not necessarily a change in policy. And the report goes further to say that U.S. authorities have also subjected non-Israeli citizens living in Jerusalem and on the Israeli-controlled Golan Heights the same as Israeli citizens. So that's quite significant language, and hopefully when the Trump peace plan is eventually released, we'll understand better how this impacts on the region. So don't forget that even though this is the last edition of the Israel Brief for the week, you can check out our content online at www.layoftheland.online. You can read today all about anti-Semitism on the African continent, how it has spread historically and how it impacts on communities today. That's www.layoftheland.online. And don't forget to join our growing Facebook community at Lotl Site, at LOTL Site. We are growing. It's wonderful to welcome our new friends, and you can like or follow us there. And you can subscribe to receive your edition of the Daily Brief by clicking on the subscribe button below and on the notification little bell icon. I'm Raylene Marks. This is the Israel Brief. I wish you all Shabbat Shalom and a great weekend.